Now to the very latest on the Israel-Hamas war. This week, Hamas said it agreed to a ceasefire proposal, but Israel rejected it, saying the deal is far from meeting its demands. Now the Biden administration is pushing hard for a ceasefire to stave off a full-scale Israeli invasion into Rafah in southern Gaza. Joining me right now is Benjamin Radd, UCLA lecturer on Middle Eastern politics. Thank you, Mr. Radd, for joining us. Without knowing everything about this proposed deal, in the court of public opinion, how does this look for Israel?
Well, the complication is that initially there was an agreed upon number of hostages to be released. They would consist of young women, the elderly, the sick, meeting a certain criteria. It turns out that the number that Israel agreed to, Hamas says, are no longer alive. In other words, they don't have enough living hostages that meet that criteria, that minimum number. And so that all of a sudden derailed the issue for the Israelis, and it made further negotiations complicated. So the optics of it look like Israel's rejecting what Hamas is offering, but in reality, Hamas, what they offered was less than initially what was purported to be on the table. So that's where we are.
In addition, the U.S. has paused arms shipments to Israel, especially with concern to Rafah, over fears the possible military offensive there. How could this impact U.S.-Israel relations if Israel does go ahead with an invasion into Rafah more than it is right now? I mean, it started an incursion there already.
Yeah, and it reflects the growing rift between President Biden and Netanyahu and his war cabinet. And President Biden was in Wisconsin today, and he did indicate that the United States would not provide smart weaponry or artillery to Israel if Israel goes into the population centers in Rafah. President Biden was very careful to indicate that that Israeli operations on the periphery don't sort of qualify as crossing that red line that he set forward. So I think there's a lot of room here for the United States to continue supporting without taking the position that it is providing Israel with weaponry to be used in population centers. Nevertheless, it does make Israel's mission complicated. It does weaken its leverage in bargaining with Hamas if now it's well known that the United States is threatening to withhold further military support if Israel continues with its planned objective.
Not just the U.S. We're talking about a lot of pressure as well from Western allies on Israel. How could this affect things going forward?
Well, it seems on the surface it's going to strengthen Hamas's negotiating position. From Hamas's perspective, it can hold out, it can offer less, it can modify terms of the deal. In other words, it can buy time because as it does so, you have the dual consequence of further suffering by the Palestinian civilian population. And then you have all this international pressure, whether it's students on campuses across this country or other international leaders putting pressure on Israel. So from the Hamas perspective, it provides them with additional leverage and less of an incentive to further negotiate and bargain.
And there's also pressure from within Israel right now to get the 130 plus hostages back. There have been a lot of demonstrations calling on Netanyahu to step down as well. What is that doing for negotiations going forward?
Yeah, that absolutely complicates things. I think a recent poll showed that one of the cabinet members, the war cabinet members, Benny Gantz, is polling ahead of Netanyahu if elections were to be held today. And it complicates Netanyahu's position. On the one hand, if he gives in to the requests and the demands of the protesters' families, which is basically prioritize returning the hostages before looking to decimate and destroy Hamas's leadership structure. If Netanyahu does that, if he does bring the hostages home and doesn't fulfill a promise to completely root out Hamas, he loses support from the right wing of his cabinet and causing his coalition to topple and his leadership to fail. So he really is stuck between two difficult positions with regards to his own political survival.
The pro-Palestinian protest movement that's happening on campuses across the country has been strong. You are part of the UCLA community. Talk to us a little bit about how that's impacted the campus community there.
It's fractured the community. There's no doubt about it, especially now that classes have been remote all this week. I mean, just walking through the campus this week, it's quiet. You wouldn't even know that school is in session. It almost, goes back to the COVID period where the campus was completely deserted. And for many of the students, especially out-of-state students who are paying tuition to be there, to enjoy the experience, sadly, they're being deprived of a lot of that. And we're just a few weeks away into finals, getting into finals. So that really makes it complicated for so many students, and it definitely undermines the sense of community that the university typically has.
Benjamin Radd, thank you so much for your time and your expertise on this. We appreciate it.